Today you're listening to Monday with the Mayor here on 18 WJTS, and today we're on the phone with Loogootee Mayor Noel Harty.
So over the weekend, you guys had a special memorial service for Ed Hamilton at Loogootee High School.
We did. It was an honor to have Mr. McClanahan come in person, and then Patrick Summers, who's in Aspen right now, and who's works full time as a conductor and then as a professor at the college in Colorado. It was neat having he sent his regards and sent a PowerPoint, and it was very nice. So we had about 10 or 12 speakers, and Ed was I don't know how you call it. He was a Loogootee legend for sure. He was the Jack Butcher, you'd call him, of band. They, not that I'm an expert on it, but they said yesterday that he had 41 designations that would be like winning a sectional each year in basketball or, volleyball, softball, that type of thing, and that he had gotten 41 of those in band. So, and I asked several, I said, do you ever remember getting a second place? And none of them ever did. So he was definitely a legend and will be missed by everybody who knew him.
Yeah, he sounds like he's a big role model to the community.
He definitely was. His wife, Mary Ann, taught at Washington, was the band director there, and she's still living, of course. But as expected, is really having her challenges at this time. So, but that's to be expected. They were married a long time. So he was at Hymera. He was here for 1 year, and then he left to go to Hymera, and that's where Tom McClanahan had him. And Tom had made notes that even though that Ed was just there for 3 years, he said he really felt like Ed was probably the best band director they ever had. So something to be said. So on a different note, you probably saw where RTC Communications is bringing their internet to Loogootee, and we're all kind of excited about that. So they offer first-class internet service, and they're kind of known for offering the same service that you can get no matter where you live. In other words, if you live in New York, whatever service they're getting is kind of the same service that they would provide right here in Loogootee. So we're pretty excited about that. It's a $4 million investment they're making in our community. So anytime you have something like that, you're pretty excited. So
I imagine expand broadband and get internet access to more rural parts of the county.
They actually, on this side of the county for sure, on the Loogootee side, I think will be covered at some point sooner than later. And then RTC is kind of working with Orange County, REMC, to kind of venture into the Shoals part of the county. So, my guess is a couple years from now, or 2 or 3 years from now, most of the county hopefully will be covered. So we'll see what happens there. Are going to have 12 crews here working, so they're hoping to have this whole area here done installed and everything ready to go by November 1st. So.
And you never know how crucial having internet is, especially with the pandemic.
Probably following housing itself, it's the number two thing. So that good internet service is right behind it. So of course, if you don't have housing, you don't have to worry about internet service. But if you don't have good internet service, you're probably a little harder, challenging to sell homes too. So they kind of go hand in hand, really.
Yeah, and as we switch gears, we heard that Loogootee is getting a new mural.
We are, just got a grant through AARP, and that was exciting. You probably saw the figures. They had 3,500 reach out to get that grant, and they funded 240, which is still a lot of money they put out for different projects and so forth. But yeah, we're hoping to have that up by the fall. So hopefully by November. I think it's actually the deadline to have it done is in October sometime. So we'll have it up by Halloween anyway.
And do you have any idea of what it will look like?
There are some designs. Tony Nante helped us with that on the design, and we've been working with him, the designer, and then, of course, the artist, and I think there's maybe a couple modifications going to be made, but it'll be pretty close and not really a secret, but we really haven't unveiled that, but probably will soon before it goes up. So, but they've worked pretty hard. Probably as much planning went into that as the grant writing.
And when does Loogootee go back to school?
Next Tuesday. So the teachers they have a meeting and the bus drivers and on Friday, and then they go back to school on next Tuesday. So a little bit later than some, and maybe earlier than others. So, but it's that time of year. So.
And what will their mask policy be like for the upcoming school year?
I haven't heard that, really we'll probably find out more information on Friday on that. It seems like all of this is changing. I think a week ago we would have anticipated no mask at all, and by next week, who knows? It might be everybody's back to wearing them. So I guess we'll find out on Friday what the plan really is.
And all drivers will need to remember to stop for the school buses when they're following the morning.
Seems like when school starts, there's that shift, and you have to remind people to slow down and kind of just be aware of the stops. So usually it's the ones on the opposite side of the road, not so much behind you, but that seem to not be aware of the school buses being out. Usually it's at the beginning of the year, and for whatever the reason, towards the end of the year, I think people kind of get lax on it. So, but we appreciate the fact that everybody's on their way to work and they want to get there, but on the same token, there's nothing that could replace school safety.
Are there any big events coming up in Loogootee?
We do have one Friday night. We've got a Mexican food truck event. Dynamite will be there from Vincennes. And I know Dynamite kind of makes their way around southern Indiana. It's a very popular. Usually they offer Asian food, but I think they might add a little spice to it. And then Our Lady of Hope Catholic Church in Washington, they kind of specialize in doing food booths with Mexican, kind of a Mexican theme. And so they'll be up and running. And then we're going to have about 3 or 4 other food booths. And between 6:30 and 8:30 on Friday evening at the Loogootee Pool, it will be absolutely free to get in. St. John's Catholic Church and the Loogootee Knights of Columbus, in honor of Father Leo, sponsored that evening. So starting at 5 o'clock, we're going to have food trucks Friday night at the pool, and they'll last till 8:30. And then from 6:30 to 8:30, it's absolutely free to get into the pool to swim. So,
well, that's all I have unless you have anything else.
Nope, I think that's it. We applied for some additional grant funding last week, and we do have our fountain that we ordered. It's on its way, but no definite date when it will be installed or when it will get here. So, but got a lot going on, but hopefully next time we talk, we'll be able to discuss maybe the fountain will be in by then. You never know.
Today, you've been listening to Monday with Mayor here on 18 WJTS, and today we've been on the phone with Loogootee Mayor Noel Harty. Thanks for tuning in. This is 18 WJTS, local people watching local people.